Hello guys, today I wanted to do a little bit spontaneous video about myself because I'm here now in Jardin de Palais Royal. And if you don't know yet, I was born in Kazakhstan and grew up in Russia. And I've been living in France for already 11 years. And today I would love to talk with you about the subject of manifestation, meditations, and how it helped me so much to escape from teeny little Russian village to France at my 17, all by myself without my parents. And actually, I wanted to tell you my story just to inspire you to continue on doing your visualization practices, meditations, and plus, now I'm a dancer. I'm a professional dancer. I have my dance school in Paris, and I did it all by myself without anyone's help. And first, also I worked in completely different area and not in dance. So that's why I decided to tell you that because I have always pursued my dreams, and for me, it's something very important that I wanted to talk about it. So, just to tell you that when I was 13 years old, I was actually in Bulgaria for like a summer camp. So I was in Bulgaria in this summer camp, and I remember how we were shown this movie, which was called The Secret. And this movie was about the power of visualization and the power of thoughts. And when I watched it, something switched in my mind when I was 13, and I decided that, oh my god, I want to try it because I lived in the area where I had no inspiration. And I was like in a village in Russia where there were a lot of snow, it was cold, it was like gray, and people were very close-minded. And somehow I felt that already at my 13 years old, I was different and I wanted to have a different life path. And when I came back home after this camp, I decided on one thing that I want to try. And basically, also what I did, I found a meditation and yoga classes. It was a little bit later, but I studied it with all the adults, let's say. I was the only young teenage girl who decided to do it and try meditations when I was already like 14. So what I was doing and what is actually written in the book, The Secret, is that all your thoughts actually design your reality. And until today, I believe that this is so true. And also that if you program yourself and thinking in a certain way, you can really progress so much more in your life, and you will attract people with positive mindset, and you will attract things by itself without doing too many things for that. So basically, when I was 13, what I've done, I was writing every day in my manifestation journal, if we could say that. I was writing it in a present moment, that's something like that. Like, I'm living abroad. I'm a professional dancer because I have started dancing when I was 12, and I was like all over that. And every day I was writing these positive, let's say, manifestation phrases in order to keep on going and keep on visualizing things. Plus, I was also drawing. I was actually going at that time to the like art school, and I was drawing in a big paper boards my visions, like where I live, how I feel. And when you write something like that, when you write on your manifestations, you need to write it in a present sense, like if it's already happened in your life. And especially when you write it down, try to feel with all your body, how would it feel? How do you feel if something that you really want now was already now in your life? Would you feel happy? Would you feel abundant? Would you feel grateful? And this is something that helped me a lot. And imagine at daytime, I was living in Russia in a place where I had no clue how I'm gonna escape to live abroad. I didn't grow up in a rich family or anything like that. And I was continuing doing it. But I just want you to say that when you do it, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen right away. I was 13 at that time. Then I started meditation as 14 and yoga. It helped me also with posture, with my physical condition and so on. And then, actually, when I was 15, somehow I was scout also. I was an active kid. And somehow I met a woman in a scout group who was helping people, students, to get the grants for Australian universities. And my English was already quite well at the time. I was in a good school, let's say, and I was studying a lot. And I decided to try. I knew that grant you could only obtain after your 18s, but I was writing down every day to different Australian universities that I wanted to try to go there already now. Even I knew that before I'm 18, it's kind of impossible. I was still trying. And it was giving me this energy to really go on. And when I was doing it, I was actually super motivated every day. And even though all the universities were saying no to me, I continued. I continued on this journey. And what was really, really like interesting is that I almost lost my hope. And then when I was 16, yes, I think I was 16, something like that, I went to Moscow to like a exposition, like exhibition of international studies abroad. And I was looking for different programs that they were suggesting. And I kind of already forgot that what I was drawing on my paperboard and so on, but I had still in a like somewhere in the back of my mind that I knew I'm gonna live abroad, and I knew I'm gonna study abroad, and I knew I didn't want to do it after I finished school, but before, because I just felt something was in me that wanted to travel and discover more than what have already seen. And at that day, I did a whole tour of all the programs, and I was almost like desperate because all the programs were after 18 and they were really for studying in university. And I knew I wanted to do like something different, like exchange program or something like that. And then actually I went to the toilet and before I wanted to leave this forum, and I saw little stands, like super little, the smallest one, and I decided to go there and ask what was it. Like I was very curious. I'm still very curious, and this is something which is very helpful. And somehow, and when I went to the stands, the guy who was there, like old guy with a mustache, white mustache, he told me, yes, basically we're offering programs for teenagers to try to live abroad for 1 year. And they were suggesting different countries like Canada, Germany, France, Spain, Italy, whatever, England. And at that time, I was like checking out the prices. They were more acceptable than anything else I've seen before. And also, it was like 1 year to try to live in the family. And I was like, okay, nice. And somehow France was the cheapest option. How I came to France. And I took the notes, I took some brochures, like some flyers, and I went to see my dad. My dad lived in Moscow and my mom in a little village. So I went to see my dad and I told like, Dad, I saw this interesting program about studying abroad. What do you think? And honestly, my dad is very patriotic and like he loves living in Russia, and even though we all were born in Kazakhstan, he prefers being there. But somehow he says like, let me check, and he said, why not? Can you imagine my feelings at that time? So from 13 years old to 16 years old, I was looking for that, and I was writing in my journal every day, and I was visualizing when I was going to bed every day the feeling that I would have studying abroad. And at that time, I was so happy. And we had this agreement with my father that he told me that I'm going to help you for 3 years abroad in France. And after that, you can handle your life by yourself or you come back to Russia. And here we will see what you do. And I was like, yeah, sure. And, that felt crazy to me because honestly, for my dad, it was a lot. It wasn't something that he could afford easily. And I'm forever grateful for what he has done for me. And when I came to school and I announced that, actually, my director told me that she doesn't accept me studying online because I didn't want to do like one more year when I come back to Russia and then finish high school and so on. So I was very disappointed, and my dad almost said like, no, you're not going to go anywhere. But then I was continuing to thinking and being sure that this is going to happen. And then my dad found a solution. Actually, I was studying at the same time in France and in Moscow, but I think I was always brave. And at that time, I didn't speak French at all, like zero. When I came to France, I had no clue how I'm gonna live here, and I was like in Lille. But this is the first part of my manifestation, let's say, visions and manifestation life. And also, what I was doing just to help you with that, if you're in a time of your life and you want to realize some dreams and you don't know how, I was really meditating already then when I was a teenager. I wasn't even sometimes realizing that I was meditating, but every evening I was like focusing on my visions and the positive thoughts, and I was visualizing like it has already happened, and I was trying to feel with all my body that how does it feel in it? How do I feel in the shoes? And it was very magic. And every evening I felt so positive and I felt so excited about this future that I was living my present to the fullest because I knew that this is going to happen anyway. I was sure about that. And this is very important because for our brain, there is no difference if you actually live the moment or if you live it through in your thoughts. And if you live it through in your thoughts, it doesn't mean that it's going to manifest directly, but it's going to happen if you truly believe in that and if you really put into your vision not just pictures but actually your feelings. Let me know what you think about this video. It was really random. I decided to share this beautiful moment, how I decided to live abroad. And in the next part, I will explain how actually I started to be a dancer, because before I became a dancer, I lived in France for like 4 years and I couldn't dare. And I will tell you how it happens in the next part. Let me know what you think, if it was inspiring, and if you want any tips about manifestations. Actually, I put meditation in my channel. You can see it, and this is really a powerful tool. Nowadays, I meditate every day, and it helps me to reach more and more goals. So let's think in a positive way. Let's live from our dreams, and let's love the life. See you.